Freedom at last. Abducted Kebbi school girls set free.
The draft bill introduces a new legal framework strengthening the regulation of the legal profession in Nigeria and providing necessary reforms to enhance professional standards.
President Tinubu transmits legal practitioners bill to NAS.
The talking pen, we saw that, but I've never seen it until I got here. But we're supposed to see it first. Whoever has any idea, they are welcome to the table.
Also tonight, First Lady courts Nigerians at 2025 World Innovation Summit in Doha. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Tonight, our very busy businessman, Benny Adams, will bring us some business reports. Benny?
Well, today is a day of several profits as public sector, private sector, as well as the press collaborate to accelerate the implementation of the Africa continental market, as well as the bulls are back in Nigeria's stock market. We'll give you details in the course of the bulletin.
And Bade Adele is bracing up for some exciting news in the world of sports. Bade?
Well, Elizabeth, it's UEFA Champions League night. 2 down, 7 more to go. We'll tell you more when we get to sports.
Thank you, gentlemen. Do remember to follow this newscast live on our website, nt.ng/live, NTA News Now on X and other social handles displayed on the screen. Now we begin with Achari news. Governor Nasser Idris of Kebbi State has announced the release of the 25 abducted Maga schoolgirls in Danko Wasagu local government area of the state. Governor Idris, who briefed the media a while ago, acknowledged efforts of security agencies who promptly acted on directives of President Bola Tinubu to do everything to bring back the girls.
That spend day and night praying and ensure that our daughters are being rescued. We thank everybody. We thank the security agencies. We thank Mr. President and all our well-wishers and the people that came from all norths and corners of this country to come and condole us with the death of the Vice Principal.
Governor Idris says the girls are on their way to the state capital and will be handed over to their parents after all protocols are completed. And joining us live from Kebbi is our correspondent to tell us more about the updates. All right, we will be joining him in the course of the bulletin. Now, moving on, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the release of the 25 schoolgirls abducted by terrorists in Maga, Kebbi State, following the Kebbi incident where kidnappings in Iruku, Kwara State and Papiri in Niger State, with all 38 kidnapped victims in Iruku freed. President Tinubu applauds security agencies for all the efforts made to secure freedom for all the victims taken away by the terrorists. It asked security agents to make more efforts to rescue the remaining students still being held captive. Now, we now join our correspondent in Kebbi to bring us some updates. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Hello. Well, the situation so far in Kebbi State is a situation of celebration. The news of the release of the abducted girls, they have been in captivity for the past 8 days, and today we have to say congratulations to Nigerians, Kebbi State people, and the parent of the abducted girls, because the governor just briefed media journalists that the abducted girls have been released, and he equally reiterated that no ransom has been paid for their release. He used the medium to thank President Bola Tinubu, the security personnel, the police, military, civil defense, and co for their effort in ensuring the school children were rescued. And as we speak to you now, the parents of the abducted children are on their way to the state capital, and the governor announced that by tomorrow they are going to be handed over to their parents.
All right, that's good to know. From feelers, do you know the exact time they will be arriving?
Well, the time for their arrival is not yet announced, but any moment from tomorrow in the morning they are going to arrive the state capital. As you are aware, the state capital is over 200 kilometers from where they are released. So they have to come to the state capital so that they will be reunited with their families, and their families are equally on their way to the state capital for the handover tomorrow, as the governor await their arrival in the state capital.
All right, we want to thank you so much for your time, and we do expect more updates from you subsequently. Thank you very much. Moving on, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has directed the suspension of the Mandate Secretary for Education, Danladi Yahoo, following rumor of closure of all public schools in the FCT. In a statement by the Senior Special Advisor to the FCT Minister of Public Communications and Social Media, Larry Olainka, the acting head of service, Nancy Sabatin Nathan, has also been mandated to discipline the Director of School Services, Aisha Sani Al-Hassan, who issued a circular in accordance with the civil service rules, describing the report on early closure of schools as false and misleading. The administration urges parents, students and school authorities to dismiss the rumor, stressing that the approved academic calendar remains unchanged. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, emphasizes the need to renew pact with state governments and community leaders, even as they become more responsible for security of vulnerable communities. Hussein Musa reports that the visit of the Inspector General of Police to Niger State was to assess the security situation and boost the morale of personnel.
The visit of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, is as a result of the recent abduction of students and staff of St. Mary's Catholic School, Papiri, in Agoro local government area.
We need a united action to address these challenges. Niger State is too important to Nigeria not to give it the priority attention it deserves. While we are encouraged with the escape of 50 of them who have been reunited with their families, we carry a heavy burden of rescuing all the remaining students and their teachers still in captivity. We have deployed additional tactical assets to Niger State. We have expanded our intelligence platform.
Niger State is poised for continued collaboration with the police and the police community, and also for all necessary information that will be available, we will share with you.
Governor Muhammad Umar Bago also disclosed that there is positive update on the Papri kidnap incident, as a yet to be ascertained number have been recovered. Emina Hussein Musa, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu is introducing fundamental reforms to legal practice in Nigeria to ensure practitioners conform to ethics, are accountable, as well as ensure enhanced access to justice. A proposal to that effect, the Legal Practitioners Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill, has been transmitted to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said the executive communication has proposals for issuance of license to legal practitioners, introduction of 2-year tutelage, and compulsory continuous professional development program.
The draft bill introduces a new legal framework strengthening the regulation of the legal profession in Nigeria and providing necessary reforms to enhance professional standards, discipline, mechanisms, and public confidence in legal practice in Nigeria.
In another development, Senate, as aligned with tradition, adjourned plenary in honor of late Senator Okechukwu Ezia, representing Enugu North, who died last week, Tuesday. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima is back in Abuja from Luanda, Angola, after successfully representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the 7th African Union-European Union Summit. The Vice President delivered President Tinubu's statement in which the Nigerian leader intensified the nation's call for Africa to secure permanent seats with veto-wielding authority on the United Nations Security Council, insisting that comprehensive reform of the global governance system is long overdue. The President, in a statement, also tasked the EU with co-creating peace and security initiatives along its African partners, anchored on African-led frameworks as pathway to achieving sustainable stability across the continent. At the first session of the G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, the President urged world leaders to come up with a more equitable and responsive system to manage global financial flows and sincerely address their recurring debt crisis in a manner that meets the needs of all nations. At the third session of the G20 Leaders Summit on Sunday, the President called for a global framework that benefits communities hosting critical minerals in Nigeria and Africa, ensuring value addition to the source. He also backed the creation of global ethical standards for artificial intelligence aimed at accelerating development across the world. The House of Representatives has affirmed that the government of Nigeria will never support or sponsor violence against its own citizens. Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin, stated this at a special plenary on national security convened to debate existing and emerging security challenges facing the country. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikmen reports.
These acts have been carried.
We do apologize for the loss of audio in that report, but it will come in the course of the bulletin. Moving on, the Nigerian government says harnessing the gas sector is an enduring innovative reform that will be sustained to transform the nation's socio-economic opportunities for national prosperity. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, represented at the 8th Value Chain Annual Lecture, urged citizens to seek more knowledge about government reforms and trust them as well. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The forum brings together stakeholders, particularly those from the energy sector, to reconnect, share insights, and strengthen bonds. Strategies deployed and successes recorded in the last 2.5 years under the Renewed Hope administration using gas resources is attracting the attention of key players and partners in the energy sector.
At this juncture, I must express deep appreciation to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for sustaining the momentum behind the Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano, that's the AKK gas pipeline project, which is now over 80% completion.
For far too long, Africa has exported crude and imported poverty. Today's conversation challenges us to consider a paradigm shift.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, in a message, says reforms on natural gas expansion, power sector transformation, and strengthening investment opportunities are deliberate and non-negotiable.
The administration's push for compressed natural gas, CNG, is part of a broader strategy for the evolution of a sustainable and affordable energy ecosystem. This is not just an energy policy. It is an economic and social intervention that directly affects transport, manufacturing, and household budgets.
There were panel discussions around the theme, growth in energy sector, nexus between economic development, social impact and public perception geared towards supporting the government's renewed agenda in energy diversification. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
You're watching the network news on NTA. Let's take a break. The news continues shortly. Thanks for staying with us. As the world continues its steady course into the digital era where innovations shape interactions and define ideas, it is time to balance the act, ensuring that humanity, not technology, leads. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu made this submission while addressing the Education Above All plenary of the 12th World Innovation Summit for Education in Doha, Qatar. Status correspondent Adeni Taiwo brings us details.
Since 2009, when it was established by Qatar Foundation, the 12th edition of the conversation, with the theme, Everything Begins with Education, brought together policymakers and innovators from across the globe to interrogate challenges confronting education and its potential to promote community resilience. Even after transitioning from her role as a teacher, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has sustained her interest in the growth of education, and this plenary offers her a unique platform to tell the Nigerian story.
Nigeria has a huge human capital investment, and that is what we thrive on, and our youth are really paving that way. NIDA is helping young people, especially small businesses and medium enterprises, to use digital literacy to enhance their business. I believe that, this is the right time, and at the same time, we should be the drivers of, technology. Technology shouldn't lead.
The First Lady, who shared the stage with her counterparts from Lebanon and Syria, is convinced that no religion forbids girls from being educated. As such, she says the federal government is doing everything possible to provide every Nigerian child with the endless possibilities that education offers.
I want to see every girl, every boy, see education as a foundation of where they can have human dignity and also have hope and the possibilities of endless dreams. And not only that, I want to make sure that I see them not seeing education just as a way out of poverty, but I want every child to be happy, and excited acquiring education.
The chairperson of Qatar Foundation and host of the summit, Sheikh Amuza bint Nasser, harped on the need for education to do more in transforming lives and communities by connecting young people with new jobs.
Doha, the capital city of Qatar, where the 12th edition of the World Innovation Summit for Education is currently going on, is many nautical miles from Nigeria. But the issues on the front burner here offer critical guide and insight for a future being envisaged by the Bola Tinubu administration, especially for Nigeria that is taking a decisive leap into the digital era and gig economy. From the Qatar National Convention Center here in Doha, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as Nigeria, through the efforts of the current administration, pushes its way back into reckoning and dignity in the Committee of Nations, Nigerians in the diaspora must lend support by working with relevant agencies back home to promote innovation. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu made this appeal when she met with Nigerians in Qatar, on the sidelines of her participation at the 2025 World Innovation Summit for Education in Doha. Status correspondent Adeni Taiwo once again brings us details.
Good morning. The meeting, which was held on the margins of the summit, was an opportunity for interaction with these Nigerians, many of whom are flying the flag of the country in Qatar, showcasing different startups and innovative solutions at the summit.
We did a pilot where we reached 8.
One after the other, they shared their innovations with her, along with their request for support. While thanking them on behalf of a grateful nation, the First Lady appealed to them to see themselves as agents of change who must do more to drive development back home.
The talking pen, we saw that. but I've never seen it until I got here. But we're supposed to see it first, we. And then we can help you amplify it. Nobody's going to kill your dreams, and then you can go out and shine. Whoever has any idea, they're welcome to the table. It's not just getting an award there and, it's not really impacting the people we want it to be impacted. You can see when I'm speaking out there, I wasn't speaking for Renewed Hope Initiative. I came here to speak for Nigeria, whatever aids they want to give to us, to go to Nigeria so that we can help more people.
To fast-track the process, she referred some of the innovators to the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, for possible partnership, noting that more will be achieved for Nigerians when startups in and out of the country work with relevant government agencies.
So I believe that with such innovation, you're supposed to partner totally with the ministry, and they can really tell you, and they can also expand it. You have the government now that is listening, that want to promote young people. I can tell you that.
She encouraged us to be more patriotic in making sure that our solutions are solving real problems in Nigeria.
And we really love how she handled it and the way she promised that the Minister of Education is going to be of help to whatever we brought to the table.
Similarly, the First Lady received members of the Committee of Pro-Chancellors of Federal Universities of Nigeria who are attending the Education Beyond Borders Conference in Doha. From Qatar, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Talking health now, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, has witnessed the signing of a landmark memorandum of understanding between Nigeria's presidential initiative for unlocking the healthcare value chain and Barbados Pharmaceutical Incorporated. This marks a major step in deepening health cooperation between both nations, with ministerial endorsement underscoring its importance. Understanding is expected to accelerate local pharmaceutical manufacturing in Nigeria and strengthen regional market access across CARICOM, LATAM, ECOWAS and the AFCFTA. It will provide a shared framework for the two countries to drive industrial growth, improve drug availability and enhance regulatory collaboration.
I want to commit our own full support to the implementation of this partnership in the period ahead.
Barbados sees Nigeria as a strategic partner, one whose scale, capability and vision aligns with our own pursuit of health sovereignty and industrial transformation.
The partnership also aims to establish joint activities to strengthen policy reforms and create financing channels that mirror PIVAC's successful making model. The Barbados delegation will also engage AMA medical manufacturing and visit existing biomedical facilities, setting the stage for a Barbados-based production hub.
Barbados is in the process of establishing a national regulatory agency, and in that regard, they already discussed with NAFDAC. They're going to hopefully sign another MOU.
The partnership aligns with the drive to reduce dependence on imports and strengthen national and regional health security. And the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says the federal government is committed to ensuring that Nigerians have access to quality, accessible and affordable health care wherever they live. He stated this at the West African Institute of Public Health Conference and Awards ceremony. Haman Jabani reports.
Reduce the heavy economic and social burden of non-communicable diseases, experts believe that there is an urgent need for coordinated action from government, communities, health professionals and individuals. It is in the light of this that the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, who was conferred with a fellowship of the West African Institute of Public Health, says federal government is expanding national health insurance coverage, the strengthening of primary health care, and stricter regulation of harmful products such as tobacco, alcohol, and unhealthy foods.
Well, at least from a government perspective, how do we begin to chip away that challenge of affordability of the services that we know are critical, particularly for NCDs? The burden is much heavier, even if it's slow moving. So that's why the affordability and the reforms of the Health Insurance Authority are so key.
The Director General of the Institute, Mojumo Konjola, after whom an award of excellence has been instituted, among others, described the honor as humbling.
It should spur other journalists to be able to make impact that she's making.
It just goes to make it a clarion call of action to the media that we have a role, we have a responsibility going forward in making health sector work for everyone.
I am committed to doing more, and I also encourage my colleagues in the health journalism field to continue to give voice to the voiceless.
The Institute is calling on all stakeholders to contribute to national development by ensuring a healthier and more productive population. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Now to education. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, strengthens technical and vocational education and training, collaborating with the University of Doha for Science and Technology. The visit aims to expand and modernize TVET across Nigeria with focus on practical training, workplace readiness and industry-aligned certifications. The minister says the partnership between Nigeria and the university focuses on three key areas: faculty exchange and train-the-trainer programs, quality assurance and international certification standards, and entrepreneurship, innovation, as well as incubation support. Nigerian instructors are expected to receive advanced training in areas like plumbing, welding and solar photovoltaic technology, while UDSC will support Nigeria in developing a quality assurance framework to make Nigerian TVET qualifications globally acceptable. Effective tilling, registration and documentation of land by state governments will play crucial roles in Nigeria's drive towards building a $1 trillion tree-based economy. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Mohammed Musa Dangiwa stated this at the opening of the 30th Conference of Directors of Land from federal and state ministries, departments and agencies in Kano. He stated that improved land administration would also substantially boost the revenue base of the states. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
This hall brings together a community of regulators and key stakeholders in land administration. Directors of land from federal and state ministries, departments and agencies are meeting to examine effective strategies for implementing Nigeria's land titling, registration and documentation program. Leading the engagement is the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, who enumerated the importance of the initiative and stressed the need for stakeholders to fully understand its objectives. Citing Kano's success story where monthly land revenues increased from 50 million to 750 million naira, the minister urged states to seize the opportunities presented by the program.
Let me say this confidently. The success of the Land for Growth program is Nigeria's surest bet to achieving the $1 trillion economy.
Poor land governance feeds insecurity.
Governor Abubakar Yusuf, represented at the event, identified digitalization and the indexing of legacy records as key components of Kano's achievements in land administration. Speakers were unanimous on the need for automation and the blocking of revenue leakages as critical strategies for effectively implementing the land titling, registration and documentation program, and for realizing its full benefits. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Away from land administration, at the Cosmopolitan University Abuja, a UK-fashioned institution shaping modern thinkers, young students from across the FCT and Nigeria gathered for a groundbreaking competition exploring artificial intelligence and new technological frontiers. What emerged were bold ideas, fresh perspectives, and a remarkable display of the future Nigeria is preparing for. Ibrahim Dan Amido reports.
A surge of creativity and innovation took center stage at Cosmopolitan University Abuja as secondary schools converged for a spirited contest on artificial intelligence and new technological frontiers, a platform designed to unlock ideas capable of shaping Nigeria's digital future.
Your presentations were brilliant. Your ideas were even more brilliant. I think if you're looking for where the future Nigeria is going to, it's here.
From prototypes to presentations, these young innovators pushed boundaries. Bristol Academy, Karu Abuja emerged overall winners. Gliston International Academy took second place, and Acad System International School came third. EdTech Lagos joined remotely, participating live via an online platform to secure the fourth position.
There are numerous errors while programming, testing your AI, getting the data and information. So for me to be a winner, because of my hard work, I'm very happy.
Our DHT22 sensor, that's a temperature sensor, and our soil moisture sensor. So it uses those information to determine whether or not to irrigate and automatically pump. We also integrated pumps and drone imagery. So our drone captures images and sends it to our cloud for the farmer to see at every moment.
When you are researching, it feels like all the load is lifted from your shoulders. All you have to do is just type in your question and it brings it out.
With AI, we have the opportunity to be up with there with everybody else, particularly generative AI, what the students were using and presenting today. They're up there with anybody else in the world.
In Abuja, Ibrahim Dang Hamidu, NTA News.
The federal government has taken significant steps to bridge gaps in accessing modern veterinary services to align with Nigeria's animal health standards, in line with global best practices. This comes on the heels of the inauguration of a model veterinary hospital in Yola, spearheaded by the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project under the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. According to officials, 20 states across the country are set to benefit from the services and innovations offered by this facility. Yusuf Jika reports.
It's more than just the inauguration of a building. It marks a significant milestone in the nation's commitment to transforming the livestock industry, promoting animal health, improving productivity, and enhancing disease surveillance. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, commended the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project for championing the initiative. He said the project aligns with the federal government's agenda to develop a globally competitive, resilient, and sustainable livestock sector.
This ushers in a new phase and chapter in animal health service delivery vis-a-vis livestock development in Adamawa State and indeed in Nigeria. The administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu means business.
We look forward to better clinical services, better diagnosis, treatment and management of livestock diseases.
The National Coordinator of ELPRES, Sanusi Abubakar, revealed that 20 states will benefit from the model veterinary hospital. He explained that the facility will operate at subsidized rate for livestock producers, extend the reach of veterinary services, and foster public-private collaboration in livestock health management.
We are opening doors to better disease control and early detection, reduce mortality in livestock, increase productivity, enhance food security, new employment and training opportunities for veterinary professionals.
The high point of the event was the unveiling of ambulatory veterinary services designed to provide on-the-spot care to livestock, including cattle and poultry, whenever needed, simply at the dial of a call. In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And the federal government has debunked reports circulating in some media outlets claiming that open grazing has been banned nationwide. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, clarifies that no such policy has been announced and that the government is instead implementing a gradual, well-structured transition from open grazing to modern ranching systems. He explained that Nigeria currently has 273 gazetted grazing reserves covering over 4.5 million hectares, and the federal government is working closely with state governments to revitalize these reserves conducive for pastoralists and other livestock operators. And it's time to take another break. To stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Ahead of the national launch of the federal government's Ward Development Program, President Bola Tinubu has appointed Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State as the Renewed Hope Ambassador. In his role as ambassador, he will double as the Director General for Party Outreach, Engagement and Mobilization. With the appointment, which takes immediate effect, Governor Hope will collaborate with the All Progressives Congress leadership and the governors, evangelizing the Tinubu administration's program. Governor Hope Uzodinma, who also chairs the Progressive Governors Forum, will ensure harmony, inclusivity and strategic coordination across all levels of the party. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on government institutions across the legislature and the judiciary, as well as technologies, the civil society and other members of the society to take bold actions towards making digital spaces safe, inclusive and respectful for all. This was in a message marking the 2025 International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women with the theme Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. She insists that digital spaces should foster genuine human connection, facilitate learning and promote productivity, not fear. Let's talk business, and our very busy businessman, Benny, is ready. Benny?
Thank you, Elizabeth. And talking business, implement in a way of wrapping up the AFCFTA Public, Private and Press Summit organized by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Media executives have joined the public and private sector in committing to accelerating the implementation of the African continental market. During a fireside session, trade experts from across the continent alongside media executives brainstormed on challenges and provided solutions on the way forward.
You will not just take a product and say this is made in Nigeria. We have to see whether it is substantially transformed or it is wholly produced or partially produced. We have all those steps to check.
What we are seeing is a surge in investment in digital economy. It surged, it reached $360 billion US, but the foreign investment in digital infrastructure is very concentrated.
There's South Africa, Egypt, Tanzania, and Tunisia, and after there are other countries that are exporting.
We understand the skepticisms not just in Nigeria but across the various jurisdictions, whether it will work. Yes, it will work. I believe it will work, and it's working. The AFCFTA is working.
Now, the newly appointed Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, that is NATI, Musa Serki Ada, has pledged to pursue the amendment of the NATI Act 2007. Ada, on assumption of duty, explained that the current act does not provide NATI with the institutional authority and capacity required to function optimally. He stressed that the review of the act is essential to empower NATI with stronger legal tools to enforce compliance, deepen reforms, and drive transparency and accountability across the extractive sector.
To me, the way it is now, it has some handicap. The law did not give it strong backing that it deserved to implement its policies. I don't think up to 1% of Nigerians are fully aware of NATI or what it is supposed to, or what it's created for.
Ada commits to leveraging his extensive legislative oversight experience to strengthen NATI's visibility, institutional relevance and impact. He emphasized that NATI's mandate must be better understood across the country, noting that the organization has built a reputation as a beacon of openness in Nigeria's extractive industry. Let's quickly look at the markets. The bulls have re-emerged in the domestic equities market after 6 straight declines, with the all-share index up 0.13%, while market capitalization gained 94.43 billion naira to close at 91.44 trillion naira. Same can be said of South African market with a gain of 0.2%. For the Tunisia Tune Index, it is red with marginally 0.52%. That is it on business at this time. Elizabeth, it's nice doing business with you.
Thank you so much, Benny. Still on financial matters, Nigeria's central bank, after its monetary policy committee meeting, retained the benchmark interest rate at 27% as external reserves surged past $46 billion, giving the country 10 months of import cover and boosting confidence in the economy. Musa Abubakar reports.
As 2025 winds down, the Central Bank of Nigeria concludes its final monetary policy committee meeting of the year, a moment to reflect on progress and set the stage for 2026. Governor Olayemi Cardoso announces a major milestone. 16 banks have now fully recapitalized, with the remaining institutions on track.
16 of them have fully complied, 27 of them
have, through various means, raised capital. We are monitoring the developments, and from every indication, it is going in the right trajectory.
Beyond the banking halls, hope is sprouting in the fields. Easing food prices signal relief for households, though the governor notes that sustainable price stability depends on close coordination between fiscal and monetary policies. Nigeria's foreign reserves have climbed $46 billion, enough to cover 10 months of imports. Confidence is returning to the foreign exchange market.
The fear that used to permeate that industry and that market has literally disappeared. In actual fact, Nigerians now are very happy.
The committee retained the monetary policy rate at 27%, kept the cash reserve ratio at 45% for commercial banks and 16% for merchant banks, and maintained 75% CRR on non-TCA public sector deposits. For businesses and investors, this means borrowing costs remain manageable, liquidity is predictable, and the financial environment is stable, encouraging disciplined lending, investment planning, and long-term growth. In Abuja, Musa Bakar, NTA News.
We'll take our last break now. Nice to know you're still there. The 31st edition of the Chief Justice of Nigeria sports competition is holding at the Uyo Township Stadium, Akwa Ibom State. Already, the National Judiciary Council of Nigeria has emerged winner of the match-past event in the 2025 Annual Judiciary Sports Competition. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Established in 1994, the Chief Justice of Nigeria Annual Sporting Fiesta aims to promote mental and physical fitness of the workforce among affiliate courts and judiciary bodies. This year's competition, holding in Akwa Ibom State, kick-started with a march past showcasing the talents of participants who took turns to display their skills on the parade ground. National Judicial Council emerged winner in that event, followed closely by the Court of Appeal and the National Judicial Institute in the third position. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, represented by Justice of the Appeal Court, Uche Chukwuonyemenam, is encouraging participants to ensure that the tournament reflects the core values of the judiciary, which includes integrity and respect, as they participate in love and unity.
Today's event serves as an important reminder that the strength of the judiciary rests not only on its judicial officers, but equally on the vitality and commitment of its staff, who keep the wheels of justice turning every day. We feel very honored to welcome you all to this event. I also feel very thankful to God that we have not had any bad news since you arrived.
This will help in keeping fit, and as you know, sound mind, physical fitness will also increase productivity of our workers.
The one-week event is featuring soccer, table tennis, handball, swimming, athletics, among others. In Uyo, Kelvin Samuel, NTA.
For more sporting stories, let's join Buddy.
All right, straight away, Elizabeth. 12 polo teams are featuring in this year's Polo for Education tournament at the Kefi Polo Ranch. Former champions Kefi Ponies are leading the lineup at the week-long tournament, alongside Malcolm Mines of Jos. For Ladora, Western Ponies, Yowa, Nasco, Rubicon, and Aske. In Tuesday's early encounter, Rubicon Polo Club cruised past Aske with a 6-3 win after 5 chokers. Founder of the ranch, Ahmed Aliyu Wadada, says this year's edition is focused on supporting the education of orphans and less privileged children, while strengthening community bonds and promoting social inclusion. Well, that's the much you can take. It's back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Bade. And that's the news. Thank you so much. I'm Elizabeth Omori.